was the last time you were sitting in that dental chair? Do you know how often you should go? How about the right and wrong things to drink to keep your teeth healthy? We're going to answer all of that and more. We've got Dr. Shelley Olson from the North Carolina Dental Society. She's going to debunk some myths and explain the best ways you can keep your teeth clean and healthy and be out of her dentist chair, right? Okay, so this is how you can get that question to her. The number is 336-379-5775. Remember, all of your questions are anonymous, but you get the answers in real time. All right, so summertime at the dentist's office. Let's talk about hydration. Lately, we've all been talking about how people need to make sure that they're drinking plenty of fluids. A lot of times, sports drinks are the fluids. Tell me why that may not be the best option for your teeth.
So while sports drinks are full of lots of electrolytes, they're also full of lots of sugar and lots of acids. And so those can cause damage to your teeth by eroding away your enamel. Also, sports drinks have lots of fun colors that can stain your teeth. And so you want to kind of avoid those. If you do choose a sports drink, choose one that's a zero, something that is a Gatorade Zero or a Gatorade Light that has the reduced amount of sugar. So you're at least getting rid of one of the things that likes to eat teeth.
Okay, so the two things that like to eat teeth are sugar and acid. So go for the non-sugar sports drink if you can. All right, let's talk about this. Dentists only check for cavities. Is that true?
No, we check for gum disease. We check for oral cancer. We check for just the overall health of your mouth. We even check to see if you're dehydrated. We can tell by looking at your gums and encourage you to drink more water. We also look for thyroid problems, joint problems. We're there to be your overall wellness coordinator for your mouth and for everything basically above your shoulders.
That's interesting that you can figure out if we're dehydrated by our gums. Is it because they're receding or do they look something different?
Sometimes they can look pale, and also they will start your cheeks and things like that will stick to our mirrors if you're dehydrated, if you don't have enough fluid in your mouth to keep everything moist, which having a dry mouth also causes cavities.
Okay, see all the things. Another reason why you want to drink water, because it helps reduce the cavities as well. Okay, this next one is the myth. Only go to the dentist when you have a tooth pain or a problem.
No, I would recommend you come see us every 6 months. That means you hopefully will be in our chair only every 6 months because we can solve those problems before they get to be painful or toothaches, so you're not feeling uncomfortable on a holiday or a weekend and having to worry about how you're going to get in touch with your dentist.
All right, speaking of which, and I've had this happen before where I had a tooth emergency over a holiday weekend, like a Labor Day weekend. Really, it's the worst time to have some kind of tooth emergency. A lot of folks may think to themselves, okay, well, dentists aren't open, so I'm just going to go to the ER. Tell us what we need to do instead and why.
The first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to call your dentist. First, make sure you have a dentist. So if you don't have a dentist, go to ADA, findadentist.org and go ahead and locate a dentist, become an established patient. And then most of the time, your dental office is going to have an emergency on-call phone number. So the first thing you do when you have that dental emergency is call your dental office. Someone's going to call you back and help direct you as to what to do. Sometimes the right answer may be to go to the emergency room if you have swelling or if you've fallen and knocked a tooth out and possibly have a concussion or something like that. But for a routine emergency, we're there for you most of the time.
Yeah, and emergency rooms aren't really prepared to handle a tooth emergency.
No, they're prepared to handle the emergency that's happened with the rest of you that might have had a tooth emergency to go along with it.
Okay, so it's probably best for you to make sure that you call that emergency line number for your dentist. All right, let's talk about brushing. I know a lot of people who love to brush really vigorously because they think that they're getting a better result when they brush that way.
So we want to use first a soft toothbrush. So any of those hard toothbrushes, you can keep them, but they're really good for your grout to clean that, or your tires, but don't use them to clean your teeth. You want a soft toothbrush, and you want to brush in soft, smooth circles, or a modified bass, which we call jiggle, wiggle, 1, 2, 3. So you jiggle it back and forth, and you brush it down 3 times, and then you move on to the next quadrant. You want to spend about 2 minutes. So the faster and harder you do it doesn't mean it's as effective.
All right, and when you do it faster and harder as well, it can make your gums recede or your gums bleed, and then that is not a sense of cleanliness. That's a sense of problem.
right? That's a sense of being uncomfortable. It also can cost you more money in the long run because you've got to go to the periodontist and put those gums back or do some desensitizing treatments to help reduce the sensitivity that you've created.
Okay. All right. We are going to continue to take your text questions with the dentist, 336-379-5775. We'll be right back.